I'll go get some more drinks for the boys.
That's my wife.
Cut my dick off.
I can't believe Snoop is talking about
Do you like the Blue Man Group? Welcome to the Thread Count Podcast.
I think he's saying Seagram's Jib.
Cheryl Crow.
Your ass crack is whack. I want to put it on tap. Thank you, wife.
Oh, it's Motorigas.
You want to put it on tap? Dude, it's growing, dude.
Don't like my cups.
You don't like Bill Cosby?
All right. Welcome to the Thread Count Podcast. My name is Shannon Laleem. We're here with my co-host
Joey Mason.
and our guest, Abby Ballin.
And we just had a threesome.
Yeah. Ouch, I'm sore.
Yeah, he took it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, bumping mics, bumping fucking dicks.
Dude, big clit energy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Smacking
Both of us,
clits
yeah.
together.
I know. I feel like I can't see you as much.
I know,
Is this what you do? You lurk in the shadows?
I was kind of lurking. I'm kind of leaning back too much. Maybe
You lean back.
Maybe
I'm always
you
forward.
scoot back there.
I'll scooch. I'll
Yeah.
scooch it.
We'll make sure you feel nice and
Shannon's
closed
usually
in
a
by
little
us.
bit farther forward than me anyways. I'm usually
I
hiding
sit
out
pretty
in the
far.
back.
Yeah, forward. That's my thing.
I like
Yeah,
to hang
get in
the
that
shadows.
spotlight,
Yeah,
girl. Get in the spotlight.
I hide in the shadows.
Now,
I don't know.
Abby is a comedian, producer, photographer.
I do too much shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do
yeah.
a lot of stuff. Hustler. Pimp.
Yeah.
P-I-M-P.
Yes,
I got your
yes.
needs.
Yeah,
Yes.
you do pretty much like anything that kind of comes through, right? Or what?
I know.
Photography
It's a
is-
horror, ultimately.
Yeah, I was going to say, anything that comes through.
comes
it's like,
through,
oh, shit.
yeah, passing by through town. If you need to stop, I'm
The
wide
circus
open.
comes through, jumps
Well,
on board.
I saw you were doing you were hosting a twerk competition.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
What's up with that?
So when I'm from New York, when I first moved to Florida, one of the first girls I ever met was we were serving in a strip club, as you
Capital
do.
USA.
As you do. It's a rite of passage. If you did not move to South Florida and become a waitress in a strip club, what are you doing with your life? I met her. She was a server. I was a server. Amazing person. And then turned into like one of the top twerkers in the U.S. Like she is insane, which I'm not.
Twerker in the
top
US.
twerkers. Like her butt is an animal. It's a beast. I didn't even know butts can move the way her
Damn.
butt can move. But
This is a white girl.
Brazilian.
Okay.
Brazilian.
Okay.
Yeah. Ay, it's spicy.
I was
It's
gonna
spicy.
say it's not a white girl.
It's definitely not a white. Let's just come on.
Top
State the
twerker in the
obvious.
US.
Yeah.
That
State the
mommy's got many daddies.
She's married.
Oh,
shockingly, she's married. I know. I went to
sorry.
the wedding. It was a beautiful and great guy. Like
An
a beautiful.
ass like that got locked down.
I know.
With an ass like that.
With an ass like that.
Woman, no man.
Oh my God, she should have all the dicks.
Kira.
Oh my God, your voice is gorgeous. His hips lie though. I believe it.
I don't have hips.
So back to the twerking. God damn it. God, he lurks in the shadows.
yeah.
But
I
he-
do. I
he's
fuck it up.
Creeping for the spotlight. So anyway, she started a dance studio. I always came to support, and I'm classic white girl, no ass, meat bone, doesn't move. It's like stuck. Like I don't know if you've tried to twerk, but it's an art. It's an art that like if you practice it, you start to improve for sure. But like when I first started, I was like, this is never gonna happen.
Need a pack of donuts
Like
and-
yeah, and they kept telling me, I'm like, how do I grow an ass? And they're like, pizza. I'm like, I've eaten a lot of pizza in my day.
I'm
My
a pizza
butt
person, yeah.
is not growing, but it's really like stretching and flexibility and practice or whatever. But anyway, so we became friends. She almost every birthday she does a birthday dance for my comedy shows and does something for me. We support each other. So anyway, she's hosting the first ever United States twerk battles. They do this. I think it started in Spain. They've done it in like Norway, like all over the world. They have
Twerk-A-Thon.
twerk battles, like championships.
Wow.
And this is the first ever one in the U.S. and I'm going to host it in Miami in September.
Wow.
Thanks.
So-
Or Capital USA.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe it's never
and it
been
happens
here.
to coincide with the OnlyFans week down in Miami. Or
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
but no, so I'm super excited about that. I'm like, there's teachers from all over the world coming, and it's like a whole thing where I think they like teach classes
Okay.
the week leading up to it, and then everyone who participates, they battle for the
Wow.
winner of this thing, and I'm gonna just
Straight up twerking. Is
yeah,
there
I'm
any,
gonna
like,
commentate on the booties, man.
All the BBLs.
Is it just twerking, or do they do like things with it? Are they like, we're gonna like knock some cans over with our twerks? Like, what are
It's
they
dance.
doing?
It's typically
Yeah.
like
Who can clap their ass though? Like,
it's
artists.
it's choreographed. It is some like muscle movement because they do like the isolation, so like the
Yeah.
butt goes boop boop
One
Oh,
cheek,
boop.
one
whoa! How do you even do that? Do you know?
Yeah, I can kind of do it, but it's a little
What does
sad.
it take?
It's
What
a little
kind of
sad.
like? What would you suggest for someone trying to get started?
Okay, so a lot of it's like the position. So like, hold on, how do you do this in this bed?
We're about to get a twerk.
Hold my
demonstration
sippy
here.
cup.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, shit.
So there is a little bit of like the way you're like.
Everybody's getting the backside
If-
of
Oh
this.
yeah, how?
if
yeah,
there's
maybe I
a
go to-
freaking, if my neighbors can see, dude,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah,
wild.
yeah.
So
Oh my god,
Now
dude, we're gonna
it's
get a
like-
lot of views from
Oh,
this.
you got the one side going.
I got like the right side does a little
So
better.
you just flex
It's
your
a little
butt
bit,
cheek.
yeah. It's a
You're-
flex. It's a
Yeah.
muscle,
Right.
but you're doing it 1, 2,
Dang,
and I
dude.
find it helps if you spread your legs
Yeah.
more. You do it now.
All right.
Let's see you do it, Joe. Joey actually has a pretty
Yeah,
big butt.
I'm sure he
does
could
have
do
a
it.
pretty big butt. He
The
does.
the more froggy you are, the more wide you are,
Wait,
the better you'll be.
make sure it's in
No, like wide, like
Wide.
really spread your stance. But like get the clench, like the. I'm
I
touching.
can't do
And
that. I don't have
consent
a muscle.
to touch.
I don't have a muscle, bro.
All right, maybe stand
Shake
up
it,
straight.
shake
Maybe
it,
stand up straight.
shake it. Give
and
your
just
best-
try like one little muscle at a time.
I don't.
Like I find that it helps if I like
All right.
like do
They gotta
something
pay
with
for the
my
rest.
knee and my hip. Like it helps.
That's Shakira
you know?
Mason.
Yeah.
Picture if you were gonna like hit her from the side. You know? No.
Hit her
Yeah.
from the-
Does he hit you from the side? Little side
I
loving.
like that one. I like that one.
Little side. You know how the butt kind of clenches a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Joey has a way bigger ass than I do, for sure.
You
like,
got a little
never-
intimidated
Yeah.
by showing it off.
I was scared. I gotta admit.
He got tense. He
I was
got
tense.
scared that he was going to get
I
the
think he was
finger.
gonna get penetrated.
I-
Yeah.
dude,
What have you
I
been
have-
doing to him,
I
Shannon?
have trauma from like doctors giving me the old.
Yeah, you look like someone who has been diddled for sure.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised that I have never stuck a finger in his ass. No, you'd be surprised.
I have a long history of sore ass.
I know that sounds like a lie. Like I know that sounds like a solid lie, but he's got hemorrhoids.
Oh.
So yeah, as much as it seems like I just fuck that ass to oblivion, it's
I don't think I've ever met a man who doesn't have hemorrhoids. You
Yeah.
guys sit on your phones too much on the
We
toilet.
love sitting down and peeing. I love sitting down to pee, dude. That's the main way I do it unless I'm out of the house.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like,
Joey
get the
sits for
in
the
and
peace.
out. Like, get out,
It
man.
gives me a second to get away and just like look at my phone.
I think I've only have one hemorrhoid ever in my
You've
life.
had a hemorrhoid?
Yeah, only one. Yeah. So I think it was after like a camping trip or something.
What?
You know, it gets.
What
wild
does
out
camping
there.
have to do with hemorrhoids?
don't
She
know.
made me look. She was like,
The
look
things you
at it. Do you
eat.
see the hemorrhoid? And I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I need to taste first to make sure it's a
Yeah.
hemorrhoid. Just kidding.
I've never had a hemorrhoid. I'm really surprised.
had one?
I did not think they were that popular.
Shannon takes these huge monster ones.
I
These
do.
monster fucking shits.
I
Do you look at it?
Well, she's been. She leaves them. She leaves them
Oh,
accidentally.
you don't flush. Oh, you're hazing your
Some-
husband.
She leaves them and says she doesn't know she left.
Sometimes
it.
it's on accident. you know.
So you must be on your phone too long, because that's what I find.
I do, too.
Anytime someone doesn't flush the toilet after they've gone number 2 specifically,
Yeah.
it means that they were on their phone for so long on the
They forgot
toilet.
they
They
pooped.
forgot they fucking pooped. So then
Yeah.
I have to be like, did you fucking wipe at that point? Like what?
Sometimes you wait long enough, and then when you wipe, there's nothing there, and you're like, took care of itself.
No, no, no. That's
yeah,
not
it's
how
so
butts
dry,
work.
crusted up, and there's nothing to wipe anymore.
I really hope you don't toss a salad. I really.
Yeah, see, good thing I don't do any of that
Thank
stuff, see?
God.
It's
I-
The
wouldn't
dysentery.
I wouldn't
The
ask that. I wouldn't
dysentery.
ask that. It's too fucking messy. There's too much hair.
I wouldn't ask that. Oh, so you wouldn't ask that? Is that something that you want then?
I think every man wants it. I think everyone wants to
Really?
experience it. Whether they want to have it over and over again is different. But they're way more adventurous. Like they will. I think most men would get their dick sucked by the same gender more than a woman would get her pussy licked by the same gender. I think they will
I don't think
experience.
so. I think guys have disgusting mouths. It would be like a dog mouth. It'd be like a dog mouth.
I think if you weren't married and your options were limited,
And
I think
had
you would
to?
not had to.
if I was in jail.
If it was presented to you, I think that you would get your dick sucked. You get your eyes
Whoa.
closed. You close your eyes and you have a little experience.
It is interesting.
That's
to think about.
crazy. A man sucking dick. Yeah. No, I don't find like
I just feel
two
like they'd
guys.
have a rough like face. Like they'd be like.
I'm not telling you to make out with
They'd be
them.
like, after this, we're going to Home Depot.
I don't find it attractive when two guys kiss. Like I
Okay.
don't like
even if they're hot gay males.
no, it's gay. Like it's like
Uh-oh.
I don't know,
Uh-oh,
like,
we're
it's
this
like-
kind of podcast.
Oh no,
now.
that small town is coming out.
that's just real. That's
Yeah.
if a guy kisses a guy, it's
It is
just
gay.
gay.
It's gay, yeah.
And
There's nothing
I
wrong
don't
with it.
find it attractive like guys find it attractive when two girls make out.
Well,
it's like,
yeah, well, that's the
I
thing is-
don't think that's no.
Can you
what?
see two girls making out being attractive?
I see why guys like it, but I don't like it, you know?
Because you think
I don't
it's-
watch that though. Like it's like, oh, like I watch like more traditional stuff, I feel like, you know.
Oh, your little giggle. Yeah, I mean, I think if people are attractive and the passion's there, I think it doesn't matter. I can appreciate and think it's
I'm
hot.
not grossed out by it. I think I'm more grossed out by two guys kissing, honestly. Like two guys kissing is just really
Passion
That's
of the
interesting.
crowd.
very feminine. It's very feminine for guys to kiss, I feel like.
I don't know. I was just at Pride last weekend, and I've never been more turned on by guys.
You're turned on by gay
off
guys.
of the gay guys.
Really?
And it was really a lot of the gay guys being turned on by those guys made me appreciate guys more because I was like seeing it from their lens, and they're like, "Oh, the things I would do to that ass." Like they were like. And I was just like,
that
I was
ass.
like, really? And then I'd look at the
Dude,
butt
the
and I'd be
ass is
like,
not
okay,
Yeah.
maybe I see it. But I never check out a guy in that hungry,
In an ass.
animalistic way that men do. And so when you see them doing that to like an attractive guy,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I see what's happening here. I can appreciate and understand. And it actually was getting me turned on vicariously by how turned on they were by these young guys.
Oh,
Well,
the young
I guess-
ones. The
I
young
guess that
ones.
I
does
mean,
make
whatever.
sense.
Everyone looks young to me, but like
Gay-
for some
If
reason.
I
Gay
had to
guys-
fuck a guy, it would be a young guy.
Keep the nephews away. Keep the nephews
Oh my
away.
god.
What's up?
No, I feel like I mean gay guys are typically good looking. It's not that I don't find like gay guys good looking.
They're
I
clean.
Just don't
They're
find
clean
it,
for sure.
I just don't find it
I think.
attractive to see that. You know? Like I'm not like, ooh, I want to watch two guys make out. Let's see two guys make out. Like it's not
I'm
the
just
same.
like I think I appreciate. I'm a voyeur. I'm a voyeur at heart. I love watching people.
you would love being our neighbor then, yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, my neighbors are all old and decrepit, but I grew up like a peeping tom, like binoculars, watching across
Peeping
the
Tom.
I did that shit too. I was definitely like looking at whoever we could. We saw my friend's mom bang one time.
Oh yeah, it's
we're-
the
and
best.
She
when
was
you
like,
get 'em.
"Please stop." And we were like,
Oh,
"Fuck
she
you, dude."
knew?
No, she didn't know, but no,
She
no.
had.
She didn't say please stop. It was all
said,
good with her.
"Please stop."
Oh,
My
you
buddy,
you
my little
oh,
buddy.
that's fucked
My-
up.
yeah,
You
my
watched
friend- yeah, we
his
were like-
mom fuck
Yeah.
while he was there, and it was not his dad.
No.
No.
Oh, that's
Not his dad.
heartbreaking.
It's all
That's
right. This is
heartbreaking.
gonna. We're a different
That's
story now.
rough.
Different
That's
story.
rough.
Joey thought
But
it
it's
was a good
super hot
story,
for
yeah.
you. Super
Yeah,
hot,
it was
but
a
for
good
him,
memory.
that's a bummer.
I just
In a
remember
pool,
just
right?
being like, "Whoa, this is fucking."
Oh,
crazy.
that's so
Yeah,
hot.
in a hot tub.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I don't. He.
I'm going to
Really?
call him
Yeah,
Timmy.
we're not gonna say his name.
Timmy's mom was a slut, and I'm here for it. I love that.
God. Oh
That's
my God.
amazing.
I
No.
almost said his name. I was like,
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, that would be.
There was a guy in the building across the street, And he was overweight, not attractive whatsoever, but he loved Asian hookers, and he would have like a new one like every night. And I like clockwork. I was on a schedule. I was like, and I wouldn't tell anyone in my family.
Oh my God.
I would just be like, it was like roughly around like the time like after dinner, blah blah blah, when you could like fuck off and do your own thing. And I'd go hide behind my father's desk, was like right by the window. And I would hide behind it with my binoculars and like peep through the window across the street and silently watch a very not attractive guy get rode by very beautiful women.
Damn. And that's when you realized you also like women.
I mean, I think I knew liked women way before
Yeah.
that, but no, there was just, that was wild. That was so good.
And wait, how old were you
At that time, that was probably like 11, 12,
Yeah,
13.
middle
And
school,
yeah. And
when we didn't have porn.
yeah, all this is way before porn,
Yeah.
way before porn. But I used to watch as much as I could, and even boring things. Sometimes just watching people having dinner and making up conversations about what they would be saying and
Would
or
you
not.
hear these people you were watching?
No, it was like
Oh.
to me. I used to mute Star Trek and talk for the characters because I thought the dialogue was boring as shit, but I loved the way they looked.
You just made everything
So I
up.
used to mute them and just
Improv.
talk.
What would you
improv,
say?
and
Would
so-
you be like, I'm horny as fuck for these aliens?
I mean, Star Trek, I was like a kid, so I wasn't like really doing sex stuff. It was more like, you know, like, I'm going to take all your treasure. It was just like lots of treasure. I
That's
don't know. I always
creative,
thought
yeah.
like it was like that
Interesting.
because I was like, I was always bored, but I was like, I like the way they look. So I do that. And it was similar. Like, obviously, across a window, you don't hear what people are saying.
Yeah.
But I would just imagine what their lives were like. A lot of times I think I would take what was going on in my household and make it even more drama, so I felt better about what was happening inside the house,
Yeah.
you know?
Interesting.
Oh, that's
an
interesting.
Yeah.
take.
Yeah.
So I was like, their parents are even more miserable than my parents.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They hate each other
Yeah.
more.
And they don't even fuck when they hate each other. Boom.
I heard my parents.
Yeah, my parents love to have angry sex,
Yeah,
okay?
They put me in a dog kennel in the corner of the room when it happens. And I don't know. I just,
Is that your confession?
Yeah,
I don't know what I was trying to contribute, but
Now you have how many siblings?
I like it. I'm the youngest of 4, but both my parents were married before they married each other. So 1 full sister, 2 half brothers.
Yeah, yeah.
And then like the wives they married, I've known since I was like 3, 4, 5. So like sister-in-laws. It feels like
Extended family.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Joey's also the youngest of 4, and so
big
his
family.
his siblings like have been with their significant others for a long time as well.
yeah, they're all divorced. Like there was like my brother got divorced, and then the other one got divorced, and then my dad was like, maybe I should get divorced with like a 3-part deal. Like they were trying to like whatever, and I was like, you.
they were getting a freebie on the side.
Yeah, he wanted
was
to get
buy one get one.
Yeah, he wanted a BOGO deal on the divorces. But my parents never got divorced, which I think is good now. But at the time, I really prayed they just split up. It was
Really?
miserable. They were miserable together.
Really?
But now I'm like happy they like stuck it out because I'm like, okay, good. There's like
Interesting.
punishment in the end. Like you have to deal with the consequence. There's something beautiful about sticking it through
Yeah,
and like having to like life is just
Ups and down,
so
yeah.
much we experience, and so to experience it with somebody and have to kind of delegate the roles, and like sometimes you're the caretaker and now you're the one who has to like step up to the plate and be the supporter, and to be able to do that for each other.
Yeah.
Which when you get divorced or you end a relationship too soon, you never really see all those things through.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because like when something gets tough or roles start to not be what you signed up for,
Yeah.
people get out of it.
Yeah.
But there's something beautiful about like, okay, sticking it out and like seeing if you can truly, truly be there for somebody.
Yeah.
However, super toxic people probably should have never been married to begin with, but they had a colorful life together and now they're old as shit. And I think the fact that they're still together and now my dad has to take care of my mom and actually has to be less selfish for once in his life is actually like a really beautiful thing for him to learn and finish out his life
compassion. Yeah,
with
yeah.
and close his life with actually being there for somebody else, not on his terms, like having to do it just because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So it's actually, I think, a lot of healing and helping him
Yeah.
be able to
Full circle shit.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And he was very, not the best husband to my mother in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. And I think the fact that he's taking care of her now,
yeah.
it's like his apology and making up for a lot of that stuff. So I think it's beautiful that they're even able to do that for each other.
Yeah.
My
My parents hate each other. My parents got divorced when I was in second grade.
Oh, that's a weird
So
time.
I was like one of the first kids in my grade, or like to have their parents get divorced. This was like early 2000s when everybody was getting divorced.
Yeah.
Big divorce boom.
It was a big boom.
Yeah.
Like, after the
Domino effect.
90s, I felt like anyone, like
People
anything
stuck
was
together.
possible.
It was a stigma thing, but then once people were like, hey, you can do that. They were like, you can do this? And everyone was like, yeah, man, leave your wife. Fuck these prostitutes with me. And everyone's like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that, of like one person did. It was just like everyone's just let's just get out, let's
Yeah.
just do it.
Joey's parents stayed together until he was in
I was out of college. Yeah,
Oh,
or in
they
college.
waited.
That's when, so they waited
They
until
waited.
like everything like crumbled after having no child to like love after and whatever, which I feel like is another thing is when people have kids, sometimes
They stay
dedicate all
together
that
for
and-
the kids.
Yeah. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
And there's something
Blink-182.
nice.
Here's your holiday.
There's something nice about that. There is something nice about that, but there's also something super unrealistic about that.
Yeah.
And you're showing your kid like a standard that maybe doesn't really make sense.
I think
Are
our
your
cat
cats
is
fucking?
fucking his toy.
Our cat's horny.
Our
Hey,
cat
Jerry,
is fucking his toy right now.
Stop fucking,
He
boy.
doesn't usually fuck this
Oh,
early.
he's got the snake.
I mean, it's a horny house. I gotta say, it's very. There's plush.
I got
It's
my
ve-
glutes squeezed.
I know we were
my
twerking.
God.
They saw the twerk.
We're going to get a lot of views on that one.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that butt is gonna be good.
Oh my god. Now, speaking of us being in a bed, have you ever had a threesome?
Do you ask everybody that
We
question?
do.
'Cause
It's
I
one
think
of the
yeah.
things.
We do ask everybody
one
that
of the
question.
questions.
Of course. Like, I mean,
yeah.
if you had to take
Yeah.
a vote, if you had to take a vote, has this crazy woman had a threesome?
I wouldn't. You never know, dude.
It's a 50-50 split because sometimes the people like you would maybe expect to have had one haven't,
Okay.
which is interesting. And so it's been about a 50-50 shot on the podcast this far of people who have and people who haven't.
You never really know. You know what I mean?
It's
Yeah.
not an easy thing to have happen. I think that like some
I mean,
people.
I think it is. It's just I guess if you say yes or no, you know.
Okay, I think that it depends on what style of threesome, and I think it depends. But I know, like obviously, in college, I feel like there's a lot of experimental. So
Yeah.
if you weren't experimental in college, you might have missed your window
Yeah.
because I feel like
Of a
college was
threesome.
like
When you do threesomes, yeah.
you might try a little gay stuff, you might try a little like threesome orgy, like whatever. Like
Yeah.
there's like a little bit of like. I don't know who I am yet. I'm a little bit more open-minded. Also, everyone else is kind of doing it. I don't want to be uncool not doing it. Like,
Yeah.
there's a little bit more freedom that happens in college that if you didn't do that then, once you get into the adult world, it's kind of like dating at that point. It's like, how easy is it to meet other people that are going to be compatible and attracted to like everybody and be down for this thing?
Yeah.
And I think it's different maybe if you're like a single girl getting approached by a couple or something, because
Yeah.
obviously then it's like, yes or no, do I want to
Yeah.
experience this with that? But if let's say you're a couple looking for a single girl or even a single guy to join you, it's a different ask. It's a different ask to kind of do that. And I do feel like it takes a little bit more either luck, where it just all of a sudden you're at a bar and there's this flirty drunk girl who's just like, you guys are so hot. I want to like, oh my God, if I could just curl in between you two. You know, like there's a little bit of,
Shannon would be slitting throats. She'd be like, "Step the fuck back." You know?
so there's a little bit of that luck that could happen.
Yeah.
Whether you want that
South
to,
Florida, it happens a lot more than
Yeah.
maybe other places, but
yeah, for sure. But if it's like the couple that's like looking for it, it's kind of like the same thing of like the desperate single person looking for it. Like whenever you're looking for something, I feel like the universe just doesn't give it to you. Like you have to almost like be like, what will be, que sera, sera.
Yeah.
And like, it'll either
That's
happen.
a great song, dude.
I know, it is a good
that song, I
song.
put that on at work when I'm like fucking feeling like I'm gonna like. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
I would love an insight into your brain.
People think he's so sweet. People are like, "Oh, Joey's so sweet. Like, how is he with you? How is he with you?" I'm
No.
like, "He's a freaking psychopath too. All right.
Yeah.
If somebody loves me, they gotta be fucking crazy
Yeah.
too. Like, I'm like, maybe he's not as chill as you might think. All of a sudden, you see these bits come out, and then you're like, okay.
I think you're
Not
both
Match my
adorable
crazy.
as shit. I don't know
Not all
what
my bits end in murder.
Is
Speaking of
somebody
that-
gonna catch my freak or whatever?
Oh,
match
yeah.
my freak.
I'm gonna match
My freak. It,
Hey.
yeah. Exactly.
So back to the threesome. You ever have to escape?
A threesome.
No, do you have any like good stories or I'm assuming
Ones
you've
that you
had more
wanna
than
share.
one. I'm assuming you've had more than one.
So, yeah, I was actually just having this conversation with somebody recently. So yeah, college days, earlier days. Honestly, I actually attempted more threesomes with like two guys. And I was really bad at it because what would happen was it would be like two guys and I would think the idea was hot.
Yeah.
And then I'd kiss one and then I'd kiss the other and then I would just choose and basically like vote the other one off the island and like kick them out.
Too many dicks in here. Get out, bruh. It's too.
Yeah, it was
sweaty.
like more like a
Too much cum.
it was like a menu item that I like chose instead of like so I never felt like I had two opportunities for that to happen and literally both opportunities I just ended up picking one and kicking the other one out.
Then that works, dude. Did you see like a spot on one's dick and you were like, get
I
that
never even
spot
saw
dick
the
outta here?
dick on them. I was
Oh,
like
nice.
it was like
It was
literally
before
because for me especially I think still to this day like I really love connection.
Yeah.
And so if I feel like a spark, that's what's going to be exciting me more than like what you look like, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that what would happen was I'd kiss one and be like, oh, this is nice. And then I'd kiss the other one and be like, wow, this is way better.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, why am I even bothering with this when
Yeah,
I
like,
feel...
I'm not gonna suck that guy and fuck this guy at the same time.
Well, it just like felt like one just felt like there was much more of a passion between us. So I was
Yeah.
like, why be distracted by somebody else when this is clearly something that seems a little bit more...
Did the guy like put his head down when he walked out of the room? Was
The
he like,
runner up. Yeah.
They must have.
Imagine
I was
what it's
not.
like to be that
I
guy.
Were you
know.
like,
I
get
feel
out
ba-
of here. Your breath smells like fucking pizza. Then they had to leave.
I know. I was never mean. I think it was more like I kissed one, and then I kissed the other,
Yeah.
and then I didn't stop kissing the other, and then the other guy was like couldn't
He was
figure
like-
out how to
Yeah,
get
he was
in,
like, hey.
and
you
then
just kinda,
eventually,
like kicked him and we're like, huh.
and then eventually he just would left. You know what I mean? Like I just never reopened the door to let
Oh
that
my
person
God.
back in.
Would you like push his face away?
I wasn't. I wasn't aggressive. I didn't even say anything.
That's
it
the way
was
to do it.
Disappeared. All of a,
Yeah, they
you
just-
came up for air and you were like, "What happened to that guy?"
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, where'd he go? And I was like, I don't really care.
This is the origin story of like how a queen is made. It was just like I was choosing these men and I pushed their face away. They left. They cried. They committed suicide, but that's okay.
Yeah. I don't know whatever happened to them. But then I think I had one relationship that was super, super experimental. Like they were really into everything, like all the kinds of kinks. And I was in a very like experimental phase in my life where I was coming out of like a very long relationship and a lot, it was just like a new chapter of like, I don't know who I am at this moment.
Yeah.
And I just want to try shit and like let me reinvent myself a little bit. And this person was like opening the door to that world. And I was like
Mr. Christian Grey.
yeah, pretty much. And so I was like, and they were like a swinger and they were on like dating sites and all this stuff. And I was like, so I went to like sex clubs and parties and all these things. And it was not necessarily like the nice thing about this person was they were also in a voyeur aspect. So it wasn't necessarily like we're going to these parties and we're gonna fucking fuck everyone in here,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's wasn't really my MO, because I do like a connection with somebody.
Yeah.
But do I love, like, I watched old people fuck and I was fascinated. I was just like,
Old people.
I wanted to
I'd
see
like to see maybe an old person fuck just
Right?
to see what they do. Like,
to see what they're
like,
capable
not like
of.
an old person on porn, like where they're doing porn. I want to see like in someone's window some old people fucking and them being like, "Oh, my back!" And then being
Yeah.
like, "Oh shit."
Or just how low the balls can hang, like, you're just
Oh,
seeing
shit.
like some stuff, like, you
Yeah.
know, like, it's different.
The cat all of a sudden running up and
Scary.
scratching the balls, and it opens up, and
Oh.
the balls are on the fucking floor.
Why did they? Why?
Sorry.
It's okay.
Typical.
I think only
Typical.
boys think of that.
Yeah.
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 But
Balls.
so anyway, with that specific partner, we did, and I first dated women before I dated men, so I always liked women. And so when he opened this chapter of like, yeah, there's like a whole world where you can meet all these bisexual women and all this stuff, but I could still have a boyfriend and then be with women. I was like, this is fucking awesome. This is the coolest fucking thing on the planet.
Have my cake, eat it too.
Not
Literally.
really in the end. Once you really get into that world, you're like, oh, it's so much more complicated and exhausting. And it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
probably
Gets
not.
puns.
Like, it ends up being like more work. It depends. I think it really depends. Because I did meet some couples in that world that I was like, you guys are just easy breezy. You love each other. You're down for a vibe and experience if it's there. But if it's
you
not
love each other
there,
and you love dick.
yeah, you're just having a good time, and I love that. But I feel like with this specific person, they must have been so addicted to porn or something like that
Yeah.
they couldn't really like be
Commit.
happy without having extremes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just didn't like feeling that thirsty,
Porn-
and I
porn
felt like
Porn
at-
does that, yeah.
and I
Too
felt
much
like
porn.
with this person, like it was like we were thirsty. Like we needed to like, if we couldn't, like I felt like we were hunting for women for a threesome. I'm like, that's icky. That's like, and I'm like, I'm cute enough. Women like me. I don't need to hunt to them.
Yeah.
If they want to do it, cool.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times too is women really vibed with me.
Yeah.
And they could take or leave him, and then he would get like jealous that like women wanted to be with me, and I'm like, well, maybe check your vibe. Like get a like you're coming off real thirsty, and we don't like that. We want somebody who's like, it's all fun and free, and if it makes sense, it makes sense, and if it doesn't, there's no pressure. You know?
Yeah.
and that's like actually you're not leaving. You get the lock and they're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
just kidding.
think,
That's
you know, it wasn't all bad. We had some like, very colorful experiences, and I'm super happy that like I was
This
able.
was South Florida.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I was very happy that that all happened, and I made friends with a lot of the people, couples, women, whatever, that I met through there that I'm still friends with.
Yeah.
Some of them are still in that world, some of them aren't, but like just the idea of meeting people that are open-minded and down for experience, like you're usually going to connect, whether you actually connect sexually or not. Like I met so many people, saw so much shit, didn't even have that much sex, because honestly a lot, especially in the swinging world, it's a lot of beautiful women, not so great looking men. And it's one thing, like
that.
I would play with those beautiful women all day long,
Yeah.
but the problem is the men want in at some point,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I was
yeah,
just I was just not gonna just do that.
Take a bunch of old wrinkly dicks.
Yeah, or even not old wrinkly, but just like, you know,
Yeah.
just like it looked like people who maybe didn't have a lot of experience, and then they were almost like looking to learn. Oh my god, we went. So the cute weird thing was we would go on dates with people. So
Double dates?
we would like date people as a
Oh.
couple to try to date them and almost try to have sex with, which is so weird. It's so weird to see your partner like shaving his dick for some other woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like he's
yeah.
getting himself prepped and ready
damn.
to hopefully
How
go get his
shaved?
dick sucked by
Baby
another.
clean? Baby clean?
I
Or just like,
think
or just
he-
like, you know, like a 15-year-old, like just like normal clean.
I think he would like, yeah, I think everything was pretty bare. He might have had like a little bit of like
An arrow.
a patch that maybe he kept, but that was still like very low. Like he would take a trimmer to it. It was like everything's very porn star in that world. Like
and
if
you're
you,
like, he's preparing his dick for another bitch. Like,
Well, I would not that I would be mad about it, but I would know that. And even
Yeah.
in the moment, I'm like, this is so weird. This
Yeah.
is such a weird. But it was a lot of like learning and pushing and what am I comfortable with? And that's my whole life. It's like I'll try something even if it feels like red flaggy or like not right because I just want to see how I'll respond or behave in that situation. And I always like to test myself and push myself. Like, how giving can I be? How open-minded can I be? How loving and selfless can I be? And I feel like that was kind of what I was trying to see in that world was like, could I just watch my partner have sex with another person? And could I get turned on by it? Or maybe not get turned on by it, but could I not care? Could this be something that's just like, this is just sex. Like, let it be just what it is. Can I do that? But of course, everything's circumstantial. And it also depends on like how good you are with your partner and like how good are you connected and are you putting in effort in your relationship and not just in all this other extras stuff. So it got way too complicated to the point where now I'm like, I'm going to be monogamous and like fucking missionary for like, I went too exciting to now where I'm like, I don't watch porn anymore. I don't even use toys anymore. I went like full like
naturalist
and
You're
supernatural.
Like, I wanna be in the woods. I feel a stick in my coochie. Ow.
Yeah, I just like I feel like I saw it all, and it
Been there,
didn't.
done that.
Yeah, and it was like one of those things where there were moments, and I think with the right partner, I could totally see it. But I think life is there's so much going on, especially with like you said, I do a million different things. I got so much going on that if on top of it, I'm trying to figure out multiple partners and pleasing multiple people.
poly is tough. Yeah.
It's too much. It's like I don't have time for it. Maybe when I'm older again, like maybe I'll kick
When
back.
you're tired, yeah.
When I'm kicked back and I have more time on my hands, but I think it's
Move up
something
to the
curious. I
villages.
think at the very least, I do love watching because I went to a sex club once, and this is my favorite memory. There was like a 65-year-old woman, and there's a sex club. It's in like Hollywood,
Fort
Florida,
Lauderdale, right? Area,
yeah,
or-
Fort Lauderdale,
yeah.
Hollywood, and she, any women coming in can go in for free. And this is a tip for anyone who's broke and poor.
Yeah, and wants to watch.
No, but
Dicks.
regardless of that, there's a buffet. So you go in for free, you could eat for free. So if you got no fucking food or whatever, you hungry, ladies, you hungry, you can
dress
go.
up.
All the white sauce on
Yeah.
your fucking nuggies.
Yeah, you
Wear
can
your
go.
best rags in there, homeless.
And it's BYOB. You bring your own bottle. So you bring your own bottle. So you can bring your own booze from home.
And fun.
And in the front is a club. It's just like they got a DJ. You dance, you talk to people, no one's naked. Maybe there's some sexy dancing, maybe there's some making out, but it's a regular club.
Yeah.
And there's the buffet and there's you bring your own bottle. So it's like
That's
cheaper going out.
crazy, yeah.
Cheaper than going out. And then there's the back room where everyone has to put their clothes and everything in a locker, wear towels, and that's where all the fucking is happening.
Everybody has to be ass naked to go in.
You have to be in towels, yeah.
Wow.
So you go back there. However, women kind of get away with doing whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
So this one 65-year-old woman was in the club area, not in the back area. And she was wearing a dress, but she had no panties on. And she just made herself the buffet. She just spread herself out on a couch, spread her legs open, took her tits out, and just laid there like this. And there was a man on each titty, a man down, pleasuring her, and someone making out. There was just men all over her, and she was just like a pleasure buffet. And I just looked at her, and I was just like,
Queen.
fuck yeah, bitch. You know, like I was like, whoever your ex-husband is crying in his own fucking tube socks right now. Because like, she was having a great time.
Or husband. Imagine just
Unless
I
he
know
was
she
one
could
of
be
them.
married. She
He
could be
was one
married.
of them. He was one of them.
Or he could have been one of them too.
Were there young guys on her?
All of them were young. All
the
of them
young
were
guys
young.
were latched to the tits.
All of them were young, and I gotta tell you, she was not even that hot. I mean, but she was beautiful in her free
Yeah,
spirit
yeah.
and her pleasure.
Wow.
But I saw a lot in that, and I will always say it's something very interesting to see, whether you participate in it or do it, or just to have people watch you fuck is really cool. I don't even know if you need to like share or swap or do all those things. There are some things with the threesome, like I make a joke on stage, but it's true. It's like one time I had someone going down on me and someone else was sucking my toes, and I was like, that was the fucking hottest thing that ever happened on my life. I didn't even know that was an erogenous combination zone. And I would never know if there wasn't two mouths accessible to my body. So there is some benefits.
What would happen if you found 3?
Yeah, exactly. But there is some benefits of bringing it. Like there's just certain things you can't do with
one person.
With only one person.
Yeah.
So
you can't have a dick in you and a mouth on you at the same time with one person.
Yeah, totally.
But then some guy's got his mouth on a dick and a vagina at the same time. He's like, "I a dick in it."
Or it could be a girl, another girl's going down. I mean, this was the stuff is sometimes they get, when you get, it's an addictive thing, I think, for some people, and they go to extremes and extremes. And like, the thing that freaked me out the most, where I just couldn't comprehend, was like, there was something called like a DVP, not even a DP, not like a dick in your pussy and your ass, but it was like 2 dicks inside your vagina at the same time. And I was just like, that sounds so horrifying.
And also,
like,
you got a dick on your dick. Like, if someone else's dick was on there, it wouldn't really feel as good as just
you're
a
rubbing
vagina.
the campfire sticks together.
And you're just hurting someone at that point. Yeah.
It's too much.
Dude, someone's going to fucking beat off to this podcast. I swear to God.
Of course. I was like, I'm coming in my conservative pajamas
so
that we don't get that sexy. I'm like, it's gonna get sexy.
You went in the conservative.
This is like,
I was like, who knows? She could be coming in some really sexy lingerie and
finally
just
a
wear that
podcast
straight
for
to
women.
red light.
Yeah. Well, I almost did. But then I was like I said, I think I wore these for one, like my aunt got these for matching for Christmas for me and my sister and my nephews. And I'm like the dorks, we took a picture in them, and then I never ever wore them again.
Hey,
so podcast. You got to see
there's
them.
Always an activity to wear
always
a pair of pajamas in, and mainly it's our podcast.
Twerk jamas.
Yeah. You're wearing these to red light now.
Oh, I brought a dress. I don't think I could get away with wearing this to the strip club.
Cut holes in the Toncos.
Yeah,
holes
we're
in the
performing
Broncos.
at the strip club. You have a show there every Sunday. Sunday. So how long have you been doing that?
So I took it over from Bobby Mack in January 2022. So 2+ years.
Okay, that was like right before I started comedy.
2.5 years is when, because, so you wouldn't have known Bobby Mack. But Bobby Mack had that room before. He had it, maybe it was 2021. Wait, hold on. Life and time is so...
Since COVID, it's been hard.
He started it in December 2020. No. Pandemic. He started it in December 2021. Yeah, he passed in 2022, January, and then I took it over. Yeah, that's how it went.
And you started comedy when then?
2019.
2019. Okay. Yeah. So, because was that the first room you produced then?
No.
Was Red Light or no?
No, that was like my 4th room I produced. So I started producing without even intentionally meaning to, but basically I'd been doing comedy for a little over a year. One of my sister's friends had a restaurant, and they had opened during the pandemic and were a little bit struggling, and they had asked, would I want to do a comedy night there? So I was like, sure, why not? I did it. It went well, and that was kind of how it just unfolded and raveled from there. But I never even considered producing, because at the time when I was doing that, there wasn't a lot of people. It was basically a lot of people that aren't even doing comedy anymore, or people here, but there was maybe like 3 producers in all of South Florida, and most of them were doing mics. So they weren't even really doing shows. So when I was doing it, I was like, there wasn't really a blueprint or a foundation to go after. So I had headliners plus like fucking 7 features. Like my shows I booked everybody because I was like, there's no shows, there's no rooms.
Yeah.
And
still aren't.
Yeah, there's still
really
not a lot, but way more than there were. yeah, so I started there, and then I did Sis Trunk, I did Kelly Brothers, and then Kelly Brothers has been going on for like 4 years now.
You still have that, right?
Yeah, every
That's
other
a
Friday.
great one, dude.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun one. I mean, they've all been fun. Like I was just talking about like how Sis Trunk, I was sad that I let it go, and now I think Flash might be doing something there, and I'm like, I wish it the best, but then there's like a little bit of a side of like, oh, maybe I should have picked it back up, because we left on like just kind of like a break, and we never really went back. And one of the reasons why was the noise. I don't think you were around for it, but it was like, it's a warehouse with high ceilings, and it's a marketplace. It's the sound pollution is so rough. I still have people coming out all the time. They love that show. It was very easy to get people there. Yeah. But performing in it was a nightmare. It was really hard. So maybe they fixed some sound stuff. I hope they did, because it's a beautiful room. It's a very great location. I love the people there, but
it sucks like when rooms like kind of like come and go, or venues come and go.
Yeah, I mean, I never want to see something die completely. So if it can have a life in a different form, I'm just happy that it's still living on in some way. But there's a lot of places that just pop up and they can't make it, and they just die, and it's really sad to see that, because it's really, I think, in starting any business, you just need, I think it's 3 to 4 years of money. You gotta be okay to lose money for at least 3 years before you're gonna turn a profit. And most people don't realize that you're gonna have to dump a lot of money into your business before you're ever gonna come up for air. And they don't make it because they're just like, they think it's gonna happen sooner, and it's just really you're competing with big people with way more money and way more
chains. Yeah, because my venue that you just did just went out of business. So I kind of expected that to happen, because they weren't the best at service, and really my events were like the biggest thing that they had going on, and I only was there once or maybe twice a month. And so I kind of had a feeling it might have been coming.
It's all about like the right spot. We've done, remember that the first one you did? Someone's doing a show there now, right?
I did a Kava bar once.
Oh, yeah.
I did an open mic at a Kava bar.
And it wasn't bad, but they were like, we don't care if this happens again.
People
and
weren't
we're
very
like,
nice. Yeah, the people weren't
Kava's
very
tough.
Yeah.
Kava's tough. Like, the thing because I have a Kava bar I work with sometimes. We just do it when it makes sense.
I've done that.
And the thing with the Kava situation is it's a different level of sober. It's like alert sober. So they're paying attention, but they are almost like hyper focused in a way where they're not loose. Like comedy, to actually make you laugh out loud, you need to be taken off guard and surprised and all this stuff. And if you're so sober and so focused and so chill, you're almost delayed.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking too much. You're
Kava's
thinking
like
about
a downer too. So it's like then like it's like even if you're having a good time, you're like more like It's like more one of those, because it's not like the people don't enjoy it, because like
no, they
you do
love
Kava
it.
bars
They
and
love
they
it.
love it.
They love it.
But then you're like, oh well, like the pops weren't there.
Yeah.
As much with a Kava bar sometimes, or most of the times, I guess.
Almost all the time. And they love it. And I do think it, as a performer, it helps you have to really be intentional about your jokes and your humor. And it's a good workout room, but it's work. It's work. It's not like a classic open mic where you're just dealing with drunk people and that's exhausting, but at least there are a good time and weird moments come from it. This is just like, oh my God, like I feel like I'm in the gym and I'm taking it up, an LBO. Like the weight is getting heavier.
It is tough, the Kava bar rooms. And a lot of the comics don't like them. They're like, I'm never going to do them. And I'm like, I'm not really against doing them. I just like,
It'd be nice if we could have a drink there.
Yeah, it would be nice if I could have a drink and they could have their Kava, like separate but equal here or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of bizarre that it is very like all or nothing, but it's the licensing. It's the licensing too. And a lot of people are recovering,
sober, so they don't want to be around it.
The thing that helped me a lot with that Kava room was realizing not everybody's sober.
Yeah.
People are just sometimes just there because they didn't want to drink that night. And once I clue because I almost always looked at it as like, oh, they're all sober.
Yeah.
How am I going to ever relate to these people that are just sober
Yeah.
and don't party? Like,
Yeah.
this is going to be like such a bummer. But then I was like, oh, some of these people still fucking get lit. They're just not happening to do it tonight.
Yeah.
And I can relate to that because I'll go out sometimes and I'll just drink water or whatever.
Kratom and kava and stuff, right? Like you actually like.
I'll do it sometimes.
I like it. I
I'll
like
do-
it, dude. I like it when it makes my legs feel non-existent. You ever get?
I've never gone that far.
I've had enough kratom and kava. Like I'll just like pound it when I'm there because I'm like I'm gonna feel something if I'm not getting boozed up, and then my legs just won't feel like they're there on the drive home, and I'll be like, this is pretty sick.
So I never really did kava. I did kratom mostly, and there's certain places and certain ones where I'm like, I totally get this. I love this. This is really like exactly what I needed. And then there's been times where I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to fly through this ceiling. Like, I feel so speedy and cracky.
Interesting.
And this is too intense.
I've
for me.
only had like kava before, and like I've only really tried it. I haven't had a lot of it because I don't like the way it tastes, and it like numbs your mouth in a weird way.
I like
haven't
that.
really tried kratom very much. I
Yeah,
think maybe
see,
I've
the
taken a sip
Kratom
or
will
so.
make you feel up. Then
Yeah,
if you
that's
have
why I
enough
usually
of
go
it, it's
uppers.
sedative. It's like there's.
yeah.
It's weird. I think. I don't know.
I don't know. I never take downers. I'm always like, even though I already have a lot of energy, I like the manic feeling of like, let's just keep going. Let's keep climbing that mountain.
Yeah.
Where like, I'm never like, I'm up. I want to go down. I'm like, ew, why?
Yeah. Why be all like fucking?
Why be all drippy?
Yeah.
Do you have any like crazy like heckler or crazy like comedy type of stories?
Ever have to
Anything
bash a
wild ever
bitch?
happened?
Ever bash a bitch to oblivion and beyond?
I've had some weird. There's always weird hecklers and stuff, but my way of always dealing with hecklers is flirting. I usually always like, I'm like, you're drunk and you're needing attention, and I'm just gonna give it to you for a second, and make you feel special and heard, and then I'm gonna get off stage and I'm gonna be like, let's go have a talk, girlfriend. I love how I'm automatically saying it's a woman because
Like,
let's face
on
it,
my show that
Yeah.
was
it's usually women. It's
Yeah.
at least
Oh,
two
were you
women.
on the show
at
with
least,
the heckler?
Yeah.
No,
Well, no, I
not
don't
that
know.
heckler. This was like the
There's always
the women's
hecklers.
group.
Yeah.
The women's group that was like they love that.
Yeah.
You dealt with it perfect.
Yeah, those women are like, they like me. I know how to deal with them. In general, women are my jam, so I can get on board with it. I don't usually have too many male hecklers. Like, I feel like men will go after men more often than they'll go. I mean, I'm sure I have. I just like, in general, I don't know. My brain is not good with like holding on to negative experiences.
That's good, dude. That's a
Yeah.
really good thing to
Yeah.
have. I harbor them and think about them at night. I'm laying in bed and I'm like, I should have harmed that person. I should have hurt him. This kid.
Bad situations. Yeah, I feel that way. Is that I don't forget bad situations. Like I feel like those are the ones that stick a lot of times. But also like just crazy things, I guess, in general. Do you have any, like, good, crazy kind
Of course,
funny
I'm like,
stories,
I can
or-
remember a weird moment happening with Julie Baez on my show with another woman heckler to the point where the girl cried. Like, it was a whole thing.
Julie made somebody cry.
But the girl was like a hot mess.
Probably deserved
The girl
it.
was a hot mess, and like, and Julie handled it well. The girl was
I'm
just
like, Julie's a pretty nice person. Like, she's not the kind of person that I would think would like make a heckler cry.
This girl was just so drunk, and
She
the
was
girl,
crazy.
the girl was like, she had just found out her boyfriend was like cheating on her. It was like a whole thing.
So she came to the
and
show
we were
at the strip
trying to
club.
like be. No, this was actually at Sistrunk. This was in
This is
Fort
crazy.
Lauderdale, and she was crying, and she was trying to get us to all have like a town hall meeting about it. And Julie was just like, let's do this later. You're in the middle of like my show, this is not the time for this, sweetheart. And then of course, like the girl just like burst out crying, and she was just like, how could you be so insensitive? And it's like, this is not what this was about,
Damn. Yeah, that's sad.
God, I feel like there's like
She was
stuff.
blonde, right?
She had highlights.
little
She had
blonde.
highlights, yeah.
Cute.
But no, I feel like in general, yeah, there's like, I'm trying to think. God. Yeah, if you had said before, think of a heckler story, I would have been able to come, because I like there's like moments where I could see the people, I can see where they're sitting in which room, but I'm like, what really happened? Like I could see them. Like I've gotten people to get up and leave shows in ways, and super happy. Usually people applaud.
Yo,
they're
people
like,
love
get the fuck out of here. Like in general, if someone's heckling, I usually go up to them. If I'm producing a show, I'll try to talk to them. I got a bad review at the only bad review I got at Red Light, which I always try to tell people. I'm like, please review shows. It makes a difference. But there was 2 girls sitting at the front of the bar. Like the stage is here and the bar is, you could either be in the back, but they were right in the front, and they were just talking so loud. It was like 3 girls. Yeah. And it's so close to the stage.
Trace
and
bitches.
It's so whatever. They didn't know that they were coming for comedy. They were going for a Sunday girls' night. I get it. Yeah. I try to tell everybody there's comedy. This is what it is. Blah blah blah. They might have gotten there a little late, so I didn't happen to have the opportunity to tell them specifically. But they were talking so loud and was so disruptive. And I'm a sugar-coated person. Yeah. Even if I think you're an asshole, I'm still going to go in nice, because I'll usually get my way if I'm going to be nice. I'm never going to come in all spicy. It just doesn't serve anything. So I just went up politely, silently, quietly, like, hey, girls. Yeah. So there's a comedy show happening right here. It happens every Sunday. You're like, so sorry. Obviously not what you're here for. But there's like some seats in the back. I can resit you over there so you guys can do your thing. If you want to stay here, totally fine. If you just wouldn't mind like keeping it down.
Yeah, that's like the nicest thing you could have done.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do. Just keep it down. Yeah. I'm so sorry. I know this is not what you want, but like, so sorry. They looked at me like they wanted to like cut my head off, and they got like a manager, they got their whole meal comped, and then they like wrote a whole review like, get Abby Ballin fired from this establishment. Like real nasty stuff. And I was like,
why waste their time? Because they have enough of it, those fucking
I know. And that one hurt so bad, because I was just like, I was just doing my job, ladies. Yeah. And I'm really not. Oh, and they tried to make it a race thing too. They tried to be like, they did it. I'm like, this had nothing. I never even considered what race you were. You just happened to be talking very loud, very close to a stage at a show that I am trying to run. Yeah, that's literally all it is. Asians, no. Yeah, no, it was just unfortunate, and I think that's the one that like, you know, that hurts, because I'm just like, I really am not an asshole. Yeah, it's not how I operate. Because even like I've had people that heckle, and I usually end up just flirting with them, and they shut the fuck up. You know, there's time, like a lot of times I'm like, okay, want attention? Let's talk about your attention. Let's get into here. Let's get real personal. A lot of times I'll make it really uncomfy. I'm like, what does your husband's dick look like, smell like, taste like? And to the point where they're like, oh God, I never want to talk to anyone again.
I'll be quiet. Yeah.
And I'll shut up. I get your point. You know, that's the most I'll do, is like, I'll get to a point where you actually don't want to talk anymore.
Yeah.
That's smart. Dude,
but I'm never gonna be like, the worst thing that happens when someone's heckling and then a comic starts like being like, fuck this, or fuck this room, or this,
fuck this room.
It's negative. You do it positively. Now, you do everything positive.
Now you're just dividing the room. Now you look stupid. This is not funny. You gotta try your best to always be funny, even if it's hard. Yeah. Even if it's like you don't want to be, even if it's not fair to be, your job is to be funny.
Exactly.
And pushing back on the room is you're never going to win. You're never going to look like the bigger person in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And most people will tune into realizing that Heckler's an idiot.
Yeah.
So let them, like, you know, fall on their face themselves, you know?
Yeah. What made you start comedy? Like, what was your inspiration, or like, what comedians do you like?
So what really started was like, just like a place I needed to like vent. My mom like tried to kill my dad, and I was just like, I gotta talk to somebody, and not professionally.
I don't have the money to
I don't got the money to professionally talk about the situation. Nor
it's expensive. It's crazy.
It's expensive. I've done it before. I feel like so many people are unqualified to deal with the shit I've lived through.
I had a therapist tell me to be violent, and I was like, this isn't a therapist. This is some old guy.
I've always had like people who I've talked to about all the things, and they're just like silent. They're like, and I feel like I'm traumatizing them by telling them my life. So I'm just like, fuck it. Like, I get what you need to do in this world is not ignore the things that have happened, but accept that that's just what has happened and that's what is. And what's the next step? What's the next forward? Keep moving. Like that's all there is in life is like be present, keep moving forward, address what's happened, but you can't dwell in it. Re-talking about it over and over and over again isn't going to get you anywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my mom tried to kill my dad. I kind of thought it was hilarious. My dad kind of deserved it. I was a little bit like, bitch,
Damn.
you didn't succeed. That sucks.
Why did he deserve it?
I mean, listen, it's hard talking shit about my dad now because he's like 88, and men, when they lose their testosterone, delicious. Like, I love this little softy, you know, like he's finally getting into his like emotions and a sense of like all men should take a step down in testosterone. Like
I'm slowly just becoming a fucking pile of fucking.
You might need a little more testosterone.
I need a little bit. I need some, dude. If someone can help me get some. I can't even fucking work up the courage to like do push-ups.
Yeah, no,
I just don't wanna.
Some men need more. My dad had way too much, like just so much testosterone. Like my dad was in his 50s when I was born.
Oh wow!
And he was still like a beast, a beast. My whole childhood, like a psycho. I'm like, I look at it now. I'm like, you were so old. What the fuck were you like when you were in your youth? But this is a man that like grew up in World War II. Like he got chased with swastikas as a kid. Like he had to work,
Jewish,
and he had to work since he was 5 years old. Like he had a hard life. So it's like, okay, get where people are coming from.
Yeah,
way different upbringing, way different life. But still, I can still have empathy for me to be like, yo, that was a lot. That was a lot to deal with there. I don't know if anyone deserves to be murdered by your spouse. That's like me being a little crass. But I mean, he was just a selfish person that like he wanted a wife that like was subservient and like did what he wanted. And he definitely cheated a whole bunch throughout their marriage. He was abusive physically, verbally to me, to my mom. You know, like he had a lot of bad behaviors.
Traditional man.
Yeah, just a lot of stuff going on there. Yeah. So I feel like when my mom first started having her dementia, because that's what sometimes when you have dementia you get violent. So when she first started showing signs of it, it actually put her back into the memories of how much she was mad at my dad, and probably in fight or flight, like moments when she didn't fight back against him and wanted to. So like, so there was like that going on. So I was a little bit like, yeah, he's getting his, like get him back, you know? And also she tried to kill him with a flower pot, which is just precious. I mean,
that's pretty sick.
It's a pretty impulse purchase. You know, it was cute.
With a bunch of pansies in it.
Little pansies, little pansy. So it was intense. It was like the whole thing was intense because they were in Puerto Rico. He's like,
is your mom Puerto Rican?
No, my dad tax stuff. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
He's been in Puerto Rico.
What is your mom?
She's from Minnesota. She's like Scandinavian.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. No, I know. Everyone kind of thinks I'm Latina. I spent half my life in New York, half my life in Puerto Rico, but I
thought you would be mostly Italian, honestly.
So my dad's Jewish, but pretends to be Sicilian when he needs to be. It's a whole confusing. I think my whole life's a lie. I don't really know what
I'm supposed to be Sicilian, but I look a little bit.
I would think Irish English.
I look a little bit.
What is that?
I'm Jewish.
Oh, Jewish?
Yeah.
Oh,
I get mistaken
Joey has
for
a little bit of
Jewish.
Jewish in him. He's got the lips,
Maybe.
the Jewish lips, and the nose. And
some people are like,
the
yeah, you're
thick
Jewish,
hair.
right? Eat these lox, you fucking. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
He likes cream cheese a lot.
Yeah.
I do love cream cheese. I do love bagels.
I don't know. I see Irish English out of you, but maybe it's the alcohol making you rosy.
Yeah.
That's definitely
Rosacea.
Yeah, it's the Irishness.
Yeah.
I'm Irish, Hungarian, Jamaican. Yeah,
No, you're not.
Yeah.
What?
True blood, yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not.
No, the only thing you are is Hungarian.
Oh, Hungarian.
Oh, shit.
Hungarian.
I'm Aryan and hung, brother.
Oh my God. Do you know that Pussy in Hungarian it means kiss kiss.
Pussy, pussy.
Pussy pussy. Yeah.
Oh, I should
gonna
say
be
that
Joey's
to
new
my my boss at work. I should say pussy, pussy.
Pussy pussy.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Oh my God. So anyway, I got into comedy because I just needed an outlet. I didn't even end up talking about that stuff on stage. I think I made it like a year into comedy. I kind of turned my mom killing my dad into a joke, turned it into a game show. What weapon did she choose was kind of the thing.
Cool.
And I've done it a few times, but it's funny. Like you go into it to vent and then you don't end up actually talking too much about that stuff. You talk about, other things and heal in other ways. But that was one thing. I think there was a little bit of me watching comedians on YouTube and Netflix and different things and seeing that I actually thought they sucked. And I was like, you're here? Mm-hmm. Oh, I could do this. Like, it actually was looking at people I didn't think were that good to make me think I could do it versus looking at people I really admired. But even the people I thought weren't that great, I still appreciated and could understand. Like, always respected the art form.
Yeah.
And
do you have any favorite comics or?
It's not really my style to pick favorites, but like, I love Chappelle. I love Bill Burr. I love Richard Pryor. I like Wanda Sykes. Recently, like newer comics, I love Rosebud Baker.
Oh yeah, I love Rosebud. Yeah.
I really, really love her.
Yeah.
I don't know, like Sarah Silverman. I've seen a bunch. I think in general, female comics are having a really cool moment that I'm really just loving to see. I don't know. Chris Farley was a huge one when I was a kid. I loved him a lot. The physical humor of him.
Yeah.
Really, really loved that.
I think our age group grew up on like that and Jim Carrey and
Jim
Adam
Carrey.
Sandler.
Adam
Just
Sandler.
being goofy
Some of the best
assholes.
Will Ferrell.
And that's why
Yeah.
we're more prone to be a little bit like more edgy.
Crass, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were edgy back then, but it wasn't like, oh, these people are being so horrible. And now if I say something crazy, it's like...
So I didn't really. It's funny. Jim Carrey bothered me as a kid. I was like, "You're too much." I respect him. I think he's so talented, and I actually like him a little bit better in some of his more serious roles, actually.
Yeah.
But like all the like Ace Venturas and the silly voice, like Dumb and Dumber, great. Like some of them he did great, but a lot of the other ones I felt like he was overacting too much and was too much. Like I couldn't get on board with it.
Yeah,
Same thing with Adam Sandler, a little bit too much of the baby talk. Like some of the
Yeah,
movies I liked, but some of it was too much. Still
Very
appreciated them, but
Yeah.
I couldn't get. I
Yeah.
couldn't get too much into all that slapstick. Will Ferrell, though, brilliant. Yeah, that whole generation of SNL when it was like Molly Shannon,
Yeah,
Will
yeah.
Ferrell,
Superstar, the movie Superstar,
Yeah.
so underrated. Superstar is
Yeah.
so under. I was Mary Catherine Gallagher for Halloween in 6th grade. That's how weird I was.
I love that. Yeah. Halloween costumes. It's funny.
I had been Napoleon. I was Napoleon
That was
Dynamite. I was Mary Catherine Gallagher. I was like Eminem. I was like weird shit. Like
Yeah.
for like some like kid in middle school to be like, I'm Napoleon Dynamite, and like me wearing a wig, like doing a dance and being like, why don't boys like me?
Oh, that's so
Just being
cute.
weird as
It's
hell.
odd. I was a woman every year.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, every year I was a
Now,
woman.
no,
I
oh
was-
my
I
god,
was.
no. Now we have this episode will be coming out on July 10th. So what you're at Kelly Brothers every other Friday? Or?
So yeah, I think July would be 12th. So it'll be Kelly Brothers July 12th. I'll have obviously Red Light every Sunday. Every last Saturday is Capone's. It's another
Last
speakeasy in West Palm. I feel like I have some other interesting things in July, but anyway, like
Things
whatever.
like
There's A Ballin Comedy always. You can look it up.
A Ballin Comedy, A Ballin Photo.
A
as
Ballin
well.
Photo. Yeah, I do a lot of photography. I've done photography since I was 14 was when I started, and professionally started doing photography like at 17, 18.
Wow.
So That's been my whole life. So when people are like, what kind of photos do you do? I'm like, you name it. I've done it. But more recently, it's a lot of social media content, advertising.
Bar mitzvahs, quinceañeras.
I've done it. I don't love event photography just because it pays well. It pays well. And especially like something like that's like a little less important than a wedding.
Yeah.
It's, you don't have to like, but to me, my issue is because I've worked with other wedding photographers and I see how they work. And I'm like, if I worked like that, I could do it. But I'm so empathetic and I think about, oh, this is this person's wedding.
Yeah.
That I capture it how I would want someone to capture it, which means I barely go to the bathroom. I photograph every fucking moment of it, that to the point where my hand's like this after, like I can barely like move it.
It's a lot of pressure.
And it's just like, it's a lot. Like I get everything. They're always happy. It's just a lot of photos to go through. It's a lot of work and it is money, but I'm like, if I'm going to do it, it's a couple times a year max. Like I can work in other ways. It doesn't have the physical toll on my body.
Yeah.
And the amount of like, okay, we have to like some
stuff.
brides are fine.
Have you
Some
ever
brides
had a
are
bride
fine.
be like, "Hey, camera bitch, get over here," and you're like, "Whoa," and she's like grabbing you by the hair, and she's like, "You fucking camera bitch."
What world does he live in? What world?
Not the same one that any of us live in. That's
You are
for sure.
in a fun ass world. No one's called me camera bitch ever in my life. But I think it's also how you operate. Like you get like anytime if there was like a bride bitch talking and wanting my attention, like I still like have like I have a little bit of like don't fuck with me energy as much as I'm nice.
Yeah.
Like so someone might come at me and talk to me like I want this, I want this, I want this, and I'll be like, okay, we're gonna break this down and I want to actually hear. So if they're coming at me with this energy that's like really assertive and really detailed, I just hit them right back and I'm like, all right, let's almost PowerPoint this shit, bitch. Let's fucking go. You want to know exactly? Then let's do it. And then they like have respect and they're like, oh shit, she cares. And I think usually when people are coming at you in this like assertive way, it's really out of fear of like this person. I'm not going to get what I want. They're not listening. They don't care. And if you just show them they care, they calm the fuck down and then they're like, okay, I trust you.
Exactly.
They're trying to like check you.
And
there's a lot of people that don't care about what they do for work and they don't care about delivering. They just do it. It's a job and they get over with. To me, I don't even care if I never see you again or whatever. Like you're still a person having this moment in your life and this is important to you. So therefore I'm going to do my best to make sure it's important to you. And like it's delivered in a way that you want to remember it. And I get what you wanted out of this. You're paying for something. And that's even like a comedy show. It's like you're coming out. Most likely these people are going through something. They need a laugh.
Yeah.
So even if I'm going through something, I want to make sure you're having a good time. I care. Even if I like, sometimes I'll like have a plan and I'm like, okay, I really am feeling this topic. I want to talk about this or this. And then I get in the room and I'm like, fuck, it's all like 50, 60-year-olds.
Yeah.
And they're not going to want to hear about my vagina. You know, I'm just like, okay, I'll do a little bit for me, but I'm going to do stuff for you because even if it's not perfectly for you, I'm not going to completely like adapt myself, but I might not go in with what I had thought or I was originally going to do. Because I'm going to read the room and I still want them to have a good time because regardless of if it's my show or not, this is their experience of comedy. So if you go in there and you give them an experience that they're not happy, they may never come out to comedy again. And they may tell their friends that was terrible and their friends may not come out to comedy. So if we care about the craft, we should care about the audience.
Bringing them back.
So every Sunday at Red Light.
Every Sunday, every latter
Saturday,
every other Friday, starting usually the second and the fourth Fridays, and Kelly Brothers
at
There's a lot of other
Island Kava Bar.
It's not really once a month.
No.
We try to do once a month, and then we'll do every other month. Like there's other shows that pop up. I have like a Riviera Beach one that'll start back up in season. There's a bunch of different shows that I'll do that are like a little more sporadic, but the ones that are regular, every Sunday at Red Light, every last Saturday at Capone's, every other Fridays at Kelly Brothers in Fort Lauderdale.
And your podcast is
Grim Gals.
Yeah,
Grim Gals. I have a podcast with my friend Valeria, a fellow comic, Valeria Nanetti. It's called Grim Gals. First season was all about death, grief, gore. Our current season that's airing now is our Spice edition. So it's a little bit sexier, but not all sexy. Some of it is about like revenge and anger and passion, like just anything that kind of fires you up. Was the second season, and then our third season should be coming out in the fall. So nice. Stay tuned for all that. But that's like a little bit more. You get a little bit deeper, a little bit more real talk. It's like some comedy, but it's a little bit more about talking about the uncomfortable topics that maybe people don't always want to get into, but I think are important in like the healing process, and also just like maybe not repeating the same mistakes, because if we keep just like hiding stuff, like I always say, like a child abuse or sexual abuse or even rape, or even if it doesn't have to do with kids, we often don't want to talk about it. It's heavy. You feel it. It's like the minute you bring it up, the room gets tense and it's like quiet. But it happened. Like almost every woman I've ever met in my life has had some sort of experience, and honestly, a lot of guys too. And sometimes the guys don't talk about it, and they need to talk about it the most. Because they really hide it, and it's just going to perpetuate if people don't talk about some of those topics that are uncomfortable.
So that's what you guys kind of focus on, is like
not necessarily that, but just anything that brings up emotion and feeling, and might just be a little heavier, like a little deeper, heavier conversations, that people. It makes it weird. Not everyone wants to listen. Like I remember it saying like, oh, we're going to talk about death, because I've experienced a lot of death in my life, and I feel like everyone's going to die. Everyone's going to experience death. And the sooner you're coming to terms with it, the more you're going to be able to be okay with it. Like it's not something anyone wants, but it's what's going to happen. So if you come to terms with it, the better you'll be. So anyway, that was my thought. And then I tell people, I'm having a podcast about that. They're like, why? Why
comics are
different,
you know?
But like real people, they're like, oh God, who's going to listen to that? And I'm like, probably people who should. Probably people should.
I like that. So at Grim Gals, right?
Grim Gals, yeah.
Grim Gals, at A Ballin Comedy, and at A Ballin Photo. So if you're interested, please follow Abby. Make sure you're following me. That's at Shannon Says Shit. Joey at Joey_Y Mason.
Joey_Y_Mason.
Yeah. And at the Thread Count Podcast. But we have a little song for you. We've got a song to tuck you in here.
Abigail, thank you for being on. Is Abigail your full name?
It's not.
Oh, fuck.
I wish it was. Everyone always calls me Abigail, and I think it's a beautiful name.
Well, for this song, it's going to be your name. Part of the song is your name.
It'll be Abigail. Okay, cool. I'll go by it.
Just kidding. Fuck Abigails out there.
Fuck. I like it. I like it.
What's your full name?
It's Abby Montana.
Dang,
that's some hippie ass shit. I like that.
Hannah
Fuck is that shit? I know. I'm the original Hannah Montana.
I like it.
Yeah, without the raspy voice.
Yeah.
Bitch. No, just kidding.
All right. This is our song. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, dude.
Oh my God, thanks for having me. So fun. I want to take a nap now.
Yeah.
Here we go. Abby Ballin, the boys were calling for Abby Ballin. Abby Ballin, my cum is falling for Abby Ballin. Abigail, she'll drag a pussy like a snail. If she was 17, I'd be in jail. Too old to be trafficked, but that booty's fantastic. She's shaking her ass on the mattress. She's giving a show. You already know she's got that good camel toe. Abby, she fucked my daddy. Now she's my mommy.
Oh.
Abby, she's a horny bitch. Abby, she makes me jizz. Abby, she's a horny bitch. Abby makes me jizz. Thank you guys. guys for tucking in. Make sure you follow Abby. Make sure you follow me. Make sure you follow Joey. Make sure you follow the Thread Count podcast. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tucking in.
I love that. I love that. That was so fun. I have a mommy complex. Thanks for noticing. Thanks for noticing.